takes the victory, 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win. Saturday Night Racing League and throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. You know, it's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
Welcome in, folks. It is time once again for another night of racing here in the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series. And tonight, they are doing the stock car equivalent of an endurance race. The ChapmanES.com 300. Coming to you live from the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway. 200 laps, 300 miles sits in store for us this evening. Want to thank you all for tuning in. You know, it might have been a different voice for the intro for once. It is myself here, Alex Gagnon, up here in the booth, alongside producer Christian Hill tonight. He'll provide all the camera shots you'll see during tonight's broadcast. But it is just me running the show here this evening, as far as the audio you're going to hear. So just get used to this, because this is more or less what it's going to be for the next couple of hours, because we've got a long one coming to you tonight, but we've got a very, very fun one coming your way. So we're just sorting out the bugs here up a little bit. Up on your screen now is the points after Kansas. Jeremy Burns with the healthy lead. His 3 wins this season have given him a healthy edge over Tyler Harrison and company behind, but you can see just how stacked it is going from that 3rd all the way back to, say, 11th position there. Barely anything separating Caleb and Travis Gilbert. They're tied. Trevor Erhardt, Carter Linz, they're tied. Matthew Robinson down to Alex Forget and Justice Murphy. That's only 3 points across 4 drivers. And then you look at that cut line, that top 16. You see in guys, Kevin Orlando Jr., Justin Ritchie, Michael Reed, just ahead of Parker Johnson, Dylan Picklesheimer, Nick Alves. And guys who are right on the cusp here. And tonight could be a big one. The only race of the season that's going to have multiple stages and therefore multiple rounds of stage points up for grab tonight. Could be a huge opportunity to pick up some much-needed points in the standings here. Up on your screen now, of course, where we're racing tonight, one of the most famous racing venues here in the United States, Charlotte Motor Speedway. First opened in 1960, has put on a ton of fantastic races. Home of the World 600 in real life, and tonight the Chapman Environmental Services 300, which should be a fun one tonight. 1.5 miles, 200 laps in store for them here tonight. As we'll take a look trackside to the grid this evening. And we'll figure out who your Coastal Financial Pole Award winner is. And putting the top time on the board tonight. Once it presents itself here. Oh, has not seemed to have loaded in just yet. We'll give that a couple of seconds here. We'll let that timer hit 0. There it is. Your Coastal Financial Pole Award winner tonight, Michael Reed, with a 29.436, a blistering fast time from the number 91 machine. And he is the Coastal Financial Pole Award winner. Our mission at Coastal Financial is to provide comprehensive financial planning solutions tailored to each individual's unique needs and goals, with the aim of empowering our clients to make informed financial decisions and achieve their financial potential. You can find us at coastalfinancial.com or on Facebook at Coastal Financial. So congrats to Michael Reed for his pole here tonight alongside Jeremy Burns. Alex Forget Berube in 3rd with John Fike 4th. Rob Rader will roll off in the 5th position here tonight, just ahead of Tyler Harrison in that 6th position. 7th will be Justin Ritchie in that 55 machine. And Trevor Erhardt rolls off 8th tonight in the 41 machine. Justice Murphy rolls off 9th with the 29.592. Joe Joya with a great qualifying run to his outside. Kyle Stewart and Kevin Orlando Jr. will make up row 6. Daniel Holloway, the Candyman, rolls off 13th. Nick Alves will be 14th alongside. Michael Call rolls off 15th here tonight at 29.666. Grant Turner rolls off alongside him. Grant Thorpe rolls off 17th here tonight with Trevor Keith in the 18th position, with row 10 being Chris Nail and Jacob Sirkovich. Parker Johnson will roll off 21st here tonight in the 48 machine. Carter Linz in 22nd. Travis Gilbert rolls off 23rd, just ahead of Matt Robinson. Dylan Picklesheimer just ahead of Brandon Richardson. Al Likens in that 13 machine rolls off in the 27th spot tonight. Dakota Floyd alongside him. Michael Bennett rolls off 29th. Jackson McGeorge in the 98 rolls off 30th. And rounding out your field tonight in the 31st and 32nd spot, it will be the 54 of Caleb Gilbert and the 26 of Kyle Diaz. The field stacked up and ready to rock and roll for what should be a long but fun night of racing here. 200 laps, 7 sets of tires available over the wall, 2 stages scheduled for this evening at lap 50 and lap 100. iRacing fixed setup, of course. We'll have the 2 green-white checkered attempts if needed. And an estimated fuel window of about 30 to 35 laps, depending on how much you really force the issue or how much you lift and coast through the corners. So opportunities for a little bit of strategies here, especially in a race this long. We'll see how it unfolds as the pace car going to peel off down pit road. And Michael Reed, Jeremy Burns going to lead him to the line. Green flags in the air, and we are racing. Michael Reed going to lead him around, take the green number 1 John Fike will settle into that 3rd position. Reed here going to dive into that middle to low lane, slowly works his way down to the apron, taking that clean air away from the 9 of Jeremy Burns as they continue to string out 1 and 2 wide deeper into the field. Got a wide shot here. You see all the lanes being bottom there with Burns. You see folks getting way up to the wall. There's a car battling outside the 1935 of Tyler Harrison, who was getting all the way up to the wall there in 3 and 4. Yes, it is the 45. 19 here. And they'll string out really far back behind. There's a big gap behind Justin Richard back to Justice Murphy. You can see that top 8 group really starting. Look here at this battle. He down low. Trevor Erhardt in the 41 up high. Got ourselves a nifty little battle going on there from the 5th position. Now making P6 as they both trail Rob Ritter. Getting that outside to work for him. They'll pick up the spot. That goes the way of the 41. He's picking up 2, so he's dropping the green flag here today. Back bumper of Forget, trying to see if he can find his way through a big gaggle of cars there in that second pack that is formed. The top 8 checked out from the rest of the field as they run single file now. Rob Rader breaking down Tyler Harrison coming off of turn 4. And Reed continues in front. Burns under some pressure there from John Fike up high. There's the move to the outside, the 65 machine, looking to take it to the 3-time winner this season. Fike is going to go on ahead. He'll slide down back to the apron, and he'll take over that 2nd place. He's up 2 places as well from the drop of the green flag in this race. Mighty fine so far in the early going. He's now only about 2 car lengths behind the race leader, Michael Reed. Running different lines here in 1 and 2. You see Fike all the way up to the top, all the way down to the bottom as Burns hits the wall coming off of turn 2. He almost got a piece of Fike. Instead, he gets a piece of that outside retaining barrier. Not going to affect his momentum, though. He's going to carry it to the bottom. He's going to go to Harrison and Rader going to battle it out for fourth. Bike holds off the challenge from Burns here down the front straightaway. Doing just enough to maintain that gap. Rader starting to get an edge there. And now Forget Berube looking to take this to Trevor Erhardt. I mean, these top 8, just exceptional speed in the early going. They have completely left that midfield in the dust. Continues to pace up at the front of the field. At this point, though, all the action is kind of single filed out, at least on the straightaways. They start to fan out again. Take a look here. Going into turn 3. You see that top 8. Really all single filed out. You can see the gap here. I mean, it's close to a second and a half of it between 8th and 9th place. Nick Alves, Kevin Orlando Jr., some really good drivers. They're just losing out to this lead pack. You can see the gap there. Every lap they're falling a little bit further back. The good news for that second group is that they have a lot of time tonight. You know, we are only 10 laps in this 200. They have 2 stages to try to bring it in, get some track position, fuel strategy. A lot of options on how you want to do this. Even for this opening stage, I mean, the fuel tank only 30 to 35 laps. To that distance. The stage, though, is at lap 50. So do you try to split it around lap 25? Do you run the fuel tank dry up to 30 and 35? Really going to be interesting to see how this fans out. John Bike had a great run down the back straightaway just a moment ago. But all the way to the back bumper, a Reed tried carrying that into turn 3, but nowhere to go. And Rob Rader has now slipped past his teammate Jeremy Burns for 3rd. And 4th attack here. He's looking to the inside of Fike in 1. Cut that distance up even closer. And he is getting right in position here to try to make a move on the 65 as Fike using that same move that he tried last time around. He's getting all the way up to the right. He's his way past Michael Reed. But Reed, though, just too fast. He's able to get that throttle down so quickly. Continues to lead this race. A great start so far for the 91. However, he has not been able to get any second. Fike is putting on a lot of pressure. He's going to have to fight a 2-front battle at this point. Knowing that Reed's in front of him, he's got Rob Rader closing in behind him. Turn 1 they go. Reed down to the inside. Right up high once again. Here comes Erhardt trying to close in on 5th. He tags the wall off of 2. Just like Burns did a few laps ago. That's the car he's battling. Fike now going to try the inside for the lead. Side by side they run. Rader hot on their heels, but door to door for the lead here at Charlotte. Rader going to make it 3 wide. Contact between Fike and Rader. They're hammering on each other down the front straightaway. Door banging all the way down the front straightaway has led to this battle for second. Able to escape momentarily as John Fike and Rob Rader really going at it. And the 53 had a run. He took it and then just tried bludgeoning the 65 out of the way. Did not work, though. They remain side by side off of 4. Again, more contact between the two as Erhardt tags it big time. Boy, they are running elbows out here in the opening stage. Rader trying to push the 65 around. And the 65 not having any of it. He shoved them right back. Fantastic action in the early going here. Door to door they run. As now Rader, big dive bomb. Fike with the over-under. He's right back at him on the inside, and he'll slide him up the racetrack. Boy, oh boy, and here comes Jeremy Burns 3 wide down the front straightaway. They get into it. Fike balancing off of both of them. He's all out of sorts. He's able to save it, but he's going to fall back to 4th. Boy, the 9 and the 53 did not give him any room to breathe there. And Rader going to move up the P2, but Burns on the attack now as well, looking to the inside. How is he going to be able to sort this out? These two can't run as physical as they just did with Fike. At least I can't imagine they would. These two are teammates. So now, Raider going to slip in front of Burns. All of this has led Michael Reed to about a 4-car length advantage over second place. And he continues to try to put some distance here as this top 8 just continues to chug along. 2.5 seconds now, clear of the backfield. We got some crazy action up in the opening few laps here in this group. You know, they tell you that this is the race where you can usually be the most efficient. It's 200 laps, it's 300 miles. You have time to let things develop. You don't have to force the issue. Clearly, that message never got to the 4-time champ here as he just went after John Fike. I'm shocked, honestly, that didn't lead to a bigger issue. I mean, those 3 cars, Raider, all 3 of them, were just bouncing off of each other as they were going down the front straight over there the past couple laps. Starting to settle in a little bit down here at ChapmanBS.com 300. Working our way on the lap number 20. Olsen and Michael Reed has been out front this whole way. Got an 8-car breakaway from the rest of the field. First of 2 scheduled stages tonight, scheduled for lap 50. The fuel window, though, saying they really should come down anytime in the next 10 to 15 laps. So we'll see who makes the jump to try to split this stage in half, who tries to get off cycle. Hypothetically, you could probably pit about now and have enough fuel to make it to the end of this stage if things sort of stay green. I don't know if anyone's going to try that aggressive when undercut, but the option is there. Raider starting to close the distance to Reed. You see the gap has shrunk now to about a car length and a half. Burns hot on his heels as well. Fike has settled in the 4th here after that earlier battle with Raider. You see there is the 4-time champ, Rob Raider. Started 5th, he's up to P2. He'll jump on board 53 for a second as he tries to find a way around race leader Michael Reed. Olsen has been doing a phenomenal job. Got a nice little battle for second unveiling here. Burns. We'll take a look here just a little deeper in the field. This is that front of that second group. Back here as well. A couple cars have got some separation. Travis Gilbert amongst others, and then things too wide until Michael Ball that he's battling alongside. Yeah, the 89 trying to wrap the apron. Parker Johnson as well, trying to find his way through here. There is a lot of battling happening here. Their way around here as you see Gilbert and Holloway getting into it a little bit. 22 might open the door here for call on Stewart, trying to use that run, trying to take a subway. It's really tough to make it 3 wide on this front straightaway. The way that line is so hard to find a room to go 3 wide there. Everywhere else at this track, you probably can. You see, it's a lot of, it almost looks a little bit like pack racing. Visuals. You see a couple cars making their way down pit road. Initial couple takers, I want to say one of them, Justice Murphy. Nope, he's just further back in the field. 77 of Grant Thorpe making his stop here. He's electing to split this stage in half. You see tires going on there. Jackson McGeorge in the 98. He's the other guy who's down on pit road here. First couple takers for pit road here in this opening cycle. And Thorpe 4 tires and fuel. He's down in the way. Same with the 98. They will be merging back on track here as we will begin to see this cycle back to to this mid-pack area. Kyle Stewart, Michael Call still battling it out here. Got Parker Johnson, I want to say it's Kevin Orlando Jr. to his outside right now. Those two battling each other. Chris Nail. See a couple of cars swapping positions here. Changing lanes, trying to find where their car is going to run best. Matt Robinson. Matt Robinson in that blue and red number 11. Johnson, as you see. Dakota Floyd now worked to the high side. It'll be really tough to make your way out. Everyone is just standing right on top of each other right now. So it looks like we might be having a battle for the lead. The 91 might be an attack from Rob Rader at the moment. Those two right next to each other. Here comes the battle for the lead. Jeremy Burns thought about making it 3 wide for a second, but Rader going to slide in. He's going to take away the lead here on that. And now Reed also trying to hold off Jeremy Burns. Not going to be able to do it. He'll fall back to P3. The two Element X cars will jump on up to P1 and P2. They've been on a slow march here up through the middle of that field. Burns started second. He's worked his way back to it. Rader started in 5th. He's now up to 1st. And going to look to try to put some distance on the field as this green flag pit cycle continues. They can't get too much further on fuel, though. As you see now, Burns, Reed, Forget, Harrison, and Erhardt all coming down pit road. Oh, Forget almost ran back of the 91. And they both keep it collected. They're going to make their stops. They're not alone. More cars peeling down pit road. This is most of that lead group, and they will get a little tire advantage here on the leader, Rob Rader, for the rest of this stage if this stays green. Looks like it was a really good entry into his box here for the 91. See the 19 peel away. We'll see the 91 do the same. He gets out in front of Burns. Burns is going to fall back almost to Tyler Harrison. It's a great stop for Jet. You see Harrison gives a shot there to the 9 as the lead group keeps going on around the outside. So the pit cycle, big coming through the 89 of Michael Call. Sounds like he's about to make his stop here as well. He's coming down pit road. Holloway, Sirkovich, Floyd, all takers for pit road this time around as well. And there you saw that was a big pack coming in. Nick Alves leading a host of about 7-8 cars down there. There's Kyle Diaz pitting in, doing some work to get himself some track position after qualifying 32nd here tonight. More and more takers. Looks like Rob Rader, the leader in the 53 car, he is also now just come down pit lane. So did not let those cars just behind him try to get too much of an advantage. Grant Turner stayed out for just a moment. He's going to pit. We'll see where this all cycles through. It looks like Alex Forget actually is going to leapfrog Rob Rader off the track. The number 19 machine, Alex Forget, multi-time winner already this season, has got himself a nice little advantage over the 53 coming through that pit cycle. He pit a couple laps earlier, but notably he pit at the same time as Michael Reed and as Jeremy Burns, and you could see he put about 3 seconds in front of him. Right now, Forget in a really good position here to try to pick up some valuable stage points and get some valuable track position. He was running in the top 5 before that pit cycle began, but notably he was, I believe, in 4th or 5th. So this was a really, really good job from him and his crew to get him some needed track position. The other thing with green flag pit stops is this is really fanned out the field a good bit. You can see that timing and scoring has really kind of spread out. Notably, a good battle right now potentially could be Michael Reed and Rob Rader, the 91. Going to try to hold off the 53 for a second time here in the opening stage. Reed, though, on slightly older tires. Going to see if he can hold on to it. So just over 10 laps to go here in the opening stage. You see that battle there for currently P4 on track. There's the 91 and the 53. Reed going to try to hold up Rader. Rader, though, on the fresher tires, really going to be able to drive it in deep here on the 91, I think. Reed, though, running just low enough. Rader really can't capitalize a ton. They both get up for that wall there. Nice from the two of them. Dead even across the line that time. Back to the inside he goes. We'll be able to capitalize there. 53 has done a really good job tonight, being able to put his car on the apron when he's needed to make a pass and not costing his speed down the straightaway once he's been able to complete it. We've seen him do it a couple times already tonight. And he's just been able to really work that apron to great effect. So out in front right now still is that 65 machine of John Fike. I know Fike's got some speed. He was running P2 for the longest time, then running in that top 5 the rest of the way until he had made his way down pit road. I believe he pit early though, which is why we didn't see it initially. I want to say he was one of the early takers in the stop, so he also might be able to hold on to this thing. Courgette's closing on him, but not at an incredibly rapid pace. So he has a chance here. He might be able to hold on to this for a bit of a stage win. And there he is, your current race leader, John Fike, starting to add to that lap-led total. Just out in the distance there, you could see the 19 for a split second. Fike currently about 1 3/4 clear of Courgette, but 2 laps ago, that was 2 seconds. So the 19 is certainly closing in about 1/10 to 2/10 a lap here. Does he have enough speed to close in and try to steal this stage victory away from Fike? It's a really good start to the race though for the 65. Started 4th. He's now up into the lead thanks to this pit cycle and is just trying to work the strategy in his favor. Got to imagine a lot of cars will come down to get fresh tires and fuel at the stage break, which means this strategy could work out exceptionally well for Fike if he's able to hold on to the lead, or even if he's able to hold second, which I think he absolutely will be able to do. It gets him some incredibly valuable track position that he did not have before that stage break, or before the green flag. Very notably, the early takers on pit road there. See that they're in 10th, the 98 of Jackson McGeorge. He started 30th. He's all the way up to 10th thanks to that early pitting strategy. It got him some incredibly valuable track position. Grant Thorpe, who pit with him, he's up to 11th. But up 20 positions right now and trying to hold on. Final spot in the stage is the 98 of McGeorge. Rocking the tie-dye high noon machine. Is now Thorpe looking to the inside. These guys fighting on equal tires. They came down on the same lap. Thorpe there in the 77 down low. McGeorge in the 98 up high. Nice little door-to-door battle in the 1. Thorpe going to wrap the apron. McGeorge, though, quick on the throttle on the outside. Not going to let the 77 slide up. And is going to be able to carry that speed down the back straightaway. McGeorge holding on to 10th place for now. Thorpe, though, not going to give him a pass. He's going to look right back to the inside on the far side of the racetrack. Here they go back into turn 1. McGeorge leads by half a car as they make their way into turn 1 once again. Once again, Thorpe with the advantage through the middle of the corner, but McGeorge is able to carry that speed, just barely clips the wall. And the more these two fight side by side, the more it's going to let Carter Lins back there in 12th start to close that gap. You could see him lurking in the distances. Now Thorpe going to look to the high side, going to try to do a different strategy here. Didn't quite work out, but he had a good run coming off of 4. Now he's going to get to the outside going into turn 1. This could be the move for Grant Thorpe. And look at him just power his way on past. And he'll take away P10. McGeorge slides up to hold on to 11. Carter Linz continues to close that gap. He is just behind him in that number 66 machine. There he comes on the outside. You can see slightly fresher tires. He pit a little bit later and is just roaring up there right now. And up at the front, Alex Forget has caught John Fike. The 65 under attack from the second place car of Forget. The 19 machine got there just when he needed to make this a battle for the stage win. With 3 laps to go in the stage now. Fike has a mirror full of Forget, the 65, all the way up to the wall. Actually gets a piece of the wall. That's going to open the door down low for Forget. And they'll be door to door as they make their way down the back straightaway. A little bit of contact almost between the two. Heavy side draft. Back into 3. The 19 looking low. The 65 runs that middle lane. Not going to let him get an easy exit off. They are a dead heat coming to the line. Forget just barely had the lead that lap, but he is not at all clear yet of the 65. 2 laps to go in the stage. Forget really drove it in deep that time. He's going to slide up in front of Fike. Takes that spot away for now. Does Fike have anything for him on this side of the racetrack? Now it'll be Fike's turn to dive to the inside. Forget all the way up against the fence. He's going to try to get back on the throttle. Fike, though, going to stay almost with him. Tight move there from the 19 just across the nose. Last lap here in stage number 1, and a great battle between Alex Forget and John Fike. The 65, I think, clipped the wall just a little bit there in 1, going to fall back another car length. And Alex Forget now by 0.2 of a second. This has to hold it steady. Here through 3 and 4, Fike going to give it one more lunge to the inside. And he's going to be close, but it's not going to be enough. Stage 1 winner, Alex Forget Berube in the number 19 machine. Fike, Rader, Reed, Burns, Travis Gilbert, Justin Ritchie, Tyler Harrison, and Orlando. Your top 10 here in stage number 1. Fantastic strategy battle there at the end of the opening stage. Nice job there for the 19 machine. We're going to step aside for a quick commercial break. When we come back, continued coverage at the ChapmanES.com 300 right here on V-Speed.
Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
Welcome back, folks. Stage 1 in the books here from Charlotte, race 12 of the Chapman Environmental Service Cup Series here in Racing Revolution. Alex Forget played the strategy just right to pick up the opening stage victory. No natural caution, just the one stage. Been a couple of lead changes. Michael Reed's been up front, so has Rob Rader, and I believe Grant Turner led one in the pit cycle there as well. Right now, everyone chasing that 19. After they came off of pit road, I believe John Fike dinged for too fast on pit road. He was given a pit road speeding penalty, which means your front row now: Alex Forget, Rob Rader, Michael Reed, Jeremy Burns, Trevor Erhardt, Tyler Harrison. Front 3 rows. It's the pace car going to peel off down pit road. The 19 and the 53 going to lead them into the restart zone. Green flags back in the air, and we are racing for stage number 2 here at Charlotte. That's a good launch on the opening here for the 19. Door-to-door, Reed and Burns here for third. Reed will slide into that P3 spot, hounding now the back bumper of Rader. Meanwhile, fifth on back, still this Rader now going to take a peek to the inside, going through 3 and 4. Nothing cooking there, and Reed going to have an off of turn 4, gets right to his back bumper, gives him a bit of a shove as they make their way now past Alex Forget. Rader back in front here in Charlotte, and Michael Reed on his heels here coming off of 2. Oh, Caleb Gilbert going to take this thing down to the apron. Something might be wrong with the 54 car. He dropped out of line, dropped to the tail end of the field, and I think it might be some connectivity issues, so maybe both in self-preservation and preservation of the field. They dropped to the tail end of the field here until that re-stabilized. A tough break there. Bill 54 came into tonight top 5 in points. Back up front, we got a nice little battle for second. Forget gonna roll on past Reed to hold on to that second spot. Reed nearly held on to it. Now Burns trying to pounce. He moves up to third as he gets a nose ahead through 3 and 4. Will he be able to hold on to it, though, is the question. Oh boy, nearly some contact a little deeper in the field there. Orlando Jr. and Ford 27 and 77 nearly got together a moment ago. They're at the tail end of the top 10. Burns now half nose ahead of the 91. Forget, nice little block there on Reed as they all go down to the bottom of the track. Oh, got a little bit of the wall there, I think. Really had to get out of the throttle. Erhardt going to jump on the opportunity. He's going to roll his way up to third. Burns had nowhere to go. And now here comes Tyler Harrison to the outside. He's going to try to roll side lane into something. Now here comes Burns and Ritchie looking to do the same. Here comes Orlando Jr. looking to the inside of Grant Thorpe here. That's the battle for 8th there on the right side of your screen. The battle for 6th between Richie and Reed on your left. It looks like that inside lane, not the place you want to be speed-wise at the moment. You see this battle here for 4th starting to form up again. Harrison's in front of Burns. Burns trying to rally. Erhardt has put his way up to 3rd. The highest the 41's been running all evening long after starting in the 8th position. They're all chasing though. Raider and Forget. Currently run nose to tail up at the front of the field. There's the onboard of the number 9. Currently running his way into turn 3. 3-time winner this season, looking to add this one to his list if he can help it. Tonight's event is a crown jewel event. It's a payout of about $30 for tonight's race winner. You see there, Erhardt throws a bit of a block on the 45, works his way back down to the apron. The 9 continues to hang in here in the 5th position. Just about everybody still in this race outside of the 5 and more or less out of it at this point. As you see there, here's a little battle forming for 6. Justin Ritchie, Grant Thorpe, Carter Linz. How about it? These guys running as close as they can right now at 55. A winner this season after Holloway got disqualified a couple weeks ago on that final green-white checkered. See Linz there. Trying to roll that outside on the 77 of Thorpe. Got really tight there through the middle of the corner. Lost a bit of speed. Linz is going to be able to pounce on that. He'll take that position away. He can move him up to P7. Here comes Jackson McGeorge as well. Trying to follow suit. He's looking to the high side with something to prove here. And behind them, you've got a nice little battle. Matt Robinson, Parker Johnston. For Michael Reed until Reed qualified on pole. Starting to fall back a little bit though here. He's fallen back to the 11th position now. He started inside that top 4. He's running as high as 2nd just a few laps ago. Battling now with Robinson. That's the battle for P11. Robinson down on the inside. Reed up high. Some nice side-by-side racing really throughout the field here since the restart. But still, that's the beauty of these next and really any of these mile-and-a-halfs for that matter. There's one place that this car really thrives, and it is a place like here. You see the temperature right now, track temp 76. Not that warm. Those tires taking a little bit to really get up the temperature. Once they do, they settle in quite nicely. Their temp 70 is only going to decrease as this race goes on, with it being the night race this evening. So I've been long for a couple hours. Meanwhile, up front, Alex Forget looks like he might be taking a run at the lead. The 19 taking a poke to the inside. Now to the outside of Raider going in the 1. Had a run to the inside through the quad oval. Now getting back at it here on the back straightaway. He is hounding the bumper of Raider at the moment. Oh, big 3 actually tapped the wall a little bit. Does that open the door somehow for Forget? Trying to poke his nose in there on the outside, and he will. He's going to pull alongside the race leader. Dead heat coming across the stripe. Into turn 1 they go. Forget rocking the wall right now. Raider running down at the apron. And the advantage temporarily going to go to Alex Forget. Takes the lead back here on lap 68. Set up his run perfectly, pounced on it, and took the lead away from Raider. Raider, though, not going away just yet. He's got to run back to the inside as they go into turn 1. And this side-by-side battle has drawn Erhardt and Burns right back into it. And now they'll be side-by-side for 3rd. Raider repays the favor off of 2 here on lap 69. He'll take the lead right back just after Forget took it a lap ago. The top 4 all stacked on top of each other now. Got Harrison and Linz getting into the picture as well. And now Raider going to be able to put some distance on as Erhardt and Forget going to run side by side for second. Erhardt very methodical tonight, slowly picking up positions one at a time, just waiting for it to fall into his lap, and he's taking every opportunity that's come his way. That's why he finds himself running third right now, as he's going to try to hold off Jeremy Burns. Burns taking a look to the inside. Erhardt, got a piece of the wall. Coming off of turn 4. That will give the spot temporarily, at least, to the 9 of Jeremy Burns. Here comes Tyler Harrison. Forget trying to capitalize as well. It looks like Raider has once again taken control of the lead, at least temporarily. I'll tell you what, Mr. Christian, what if we jump back here to the number 14 car, Michael Bennett. He's got himself quite a bit of action in the rearview mirror. See Nick Alves, Kevin Orlando Jr. side by side behind him. They're not alone. You've also got Travis Gilbert back there as well with Chris Nail trying to make some forward progress. Bennett about to be under attack here from Alves in just a second. Someone way down on the apron here. Might have been the 35, no, the 8. The 8 of Brandon Richardson down to the apron. Don't know if he had some help or if he just got out of line. Meanwhile, nice little battle here. Travis Gilbert came into tonight top 5 in points with Kevin Orlando Jr. to his inside, who's also having himself a pretty strong season to this point. Chris Nail gonna roll that outside. You can see that even though 1.5 miles aren't particularly draft heavy, if you get a nice run on the outside lane and you get lined up like that, you do see a little bit of that speed. As you see now, about to be 3 wide behind him, John Fike diving to the inside. The 65 of Fike has been trying to work his way back from that pit road penalty at the stage. He's got himself back to 19th. After he restarted back around 30th, so he's making some progress. Still a long way to go to get back to that top 5 where he was running them. As Carter Linz has just peeled off down pit road, the 66, an early taker to come down pit road here. This stage, much like stage 1, also oh no, he's still on track. I think the timing table thought he was coming down pit road or something, because he just dropped like a rock for a second. I thought it was a little early. All right, so Carter Lynn's still on track, but yeah, this stage, folks, much like the opening stage of race, a 50-lap run. Fuel window, of course, about 30 to 35 laps. So this is about the midway point, stage number 2. I would not be shocked if you do see a couple of cars come down the road with Carter. Actually, speaking of which, they are doing so right now. Looks like Michael Bennett, Jackson McGeorge could be amongst them. Those two and John Fike going to make his way down pit road as well. These 3 all early takers. McGeorge and Fike both early takers on the last stop as well, from what I recall. More takers coming. It sounds like Grant Thorpe going to peel off down pit road this time in that number 77 machine. You see Bennett now leaving his box. Fike peels out as well. And once again, green flag stops are underway here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. He's not alone. There's Tyler Harrison and Michael Reed. These were some of the cars who pit a little bit later in the first stage. Maybe trying a bit of a different strategy here. I definitely get it for the 91. He had top 5 speed in the opening stage of the race. Struggling a little bit here in stage number 2, so why not try something different, get some fresh tires on, try to make something happen. See Linz, Orlando Jr., Nail, all cars who came to. Michael Reed spinning on the front straightaway into turn 1. Collects John Fike. Massive wreck in turn 1, and our first natural caution of the night comes out. The pole sitter lost it trying to get back up the speed and spun directly in front of John Fike. Those 2 cars are absolutely devastated. Huge wreck for the 91 and the 65. We'll see if we can take another look. Shout out to producer Christian for being Johnny on the spot. We had just cut to the 91 right as that incident had occurred. The pole sitters night goes from not great to significantly worse. Still trying to get that damage repaired. I believe he had to get that thing towed back to pit road. And here is the replay. Take a look here at the 91, trying to race off of pit road. Gets a bump. Yeah, car gets out of bounds. He was shifting right as he hits that bump and gets sideways, washes up the track. That's just the awful timing for the 65. You know, you've been doing all this work to try to get yourself back in position after the opening penalty from the stage caution about 20, 30 laps ago. And you see here, even right now, you don't even see it. It's still right there. And you see the 91 go up the track. 65 tries going below him as the 91 just comes back down and bam. Huge hit for Fike and for Reed. And Fike had just put brand new tires on that thing. So he was already behind the 8-ball a little bit because it was the early part of the pit cycle. It was a devastating break there for those two. Both of them started inside the top 5 tonight. You know, of course, Michael Reed, you mentioned a couple times the pole sitter here tonight, your Coastal Financial Pole Award winner. John Fike, though, to his credit, rolled off 4th here this evening, so the first caution is during the green flag pit cycle here during the second stage between 2 cars who qualified in the top 5. And that is going to be a huge break for the cars who had yet to come down pit road. Puts them in prime position to try to get some needed track position against some of those guys who pit early. Notably, though, the cars who stayed out, all of the top 4, Rob Rader, Alex Forget, Jeremy Burns, Trevor Erhardt, all 4 of them had yet to come down pit road. So that works out mighty nicely for them. Guys like Linz, Thorpe, Orlando Jr., Chris Nail, Jackson McGeorge, all in a position to take the wave around here. They will get back on the lead lap, but they will get shuffled back to the tail end of the field. See, Bennett goes on by as well. And when this thing settles back out, Jeremy Burns, Justin Ritchie will sit 1-2. Travis Gilbert, Dakota Floyd sits 3rd and 4th. Rob Rader, Trevor Erhardt, Matt Robinson, Alex Forget, Parker Johnston, Kyle Stewart. Now your top 10 at Charlotte on lap 81. Bit of a shuffle from this top group after that caution. A couple new faces in this. We haven't seen Justin Ritchie up in the top 2 yet this evening, but very notably, I think a few new faces in this top group period. First time tonight we're really talking about Travis Gilbert up in this lead group. Parker Johnson, Kyle Stewart now also in the top 10 as well. Dakota Floyd, a big mover up from 28th to 4th. So some new faces and new places here at Charlotte, and we'll see how this goes. When they restart, it'll be just under 20 laps to go in stage number 2. Pace car going to peel off down pit road. Burns and Ritchie, the control cars. Into the restart zone they go. Green flag back in the air, and Burns is going to lead them in the good launch there for the 9. 22, I think, spun the wheels a little bit. Rader tried forcing the issue down to the grass. We are racing once again, back under green flag conditions. Everyone gets through turns 1 and 2. All right, Ritchie went dive to the inside here. Burns closes it off. Gilbert gets wicked tight through 3 and 4. Lost a ton of speed. Rob Rader nearly plunged through the back of him. Gilbert, though, going to only lose the 1 spot to Dakota Floyd. He's now in a battle here with Trevor Erhardt. 22. Once he gets moving, he is a really, really fast race car driver. Just got really tight there in 3 and 4 a moment ago. You see Forget clip the wall. Evasive maneuvers put on there. But now everyone's starting to find a little bit of real estate to work with out there. So Burns and Ritchie, then Dakota Floyd. Oh, Rader down into the Roval course. The 53 went flying down into the Roval course, and he is sliding through the grass, and the yellow has not come out. He is out of the racing line and going to try to get this thing going again. So he'll get back on the racetrack. He'll get back up the speed. But one of the fastest cars in the field tonight, at least in the early going to now be way behind the 8 ball here for the rest of stage 2. After he got spun going through the front stretch. You see him, he's side by side. I think he just got a little bit checked up, getting off turn 4. Everyone else, who was 3 wide behind him, mind you, was coming in with a full head of steam, and they just had nowhere to go. Take one more look at it here. Matt Robinson, that middle car there, 53 washed up a little bit. You see Forget actually ends up in the fence. Meanwhile, Al Likens, Robinson get a piece of each other. It's honestly shocking that no one went fully around there outside of Rader, and Rader was so far from the racing line that iRacing didn't throw a yellow. Oh, but now there is a yellow. Unrelated, the yellow has come out. I'm not sure. Excuse me, I'm not sure for who. Take a look at this. Is Justice Murphy we're jumping on board with. Trying to get down pit road. Oh boy, heavy contact into the inside pit wall. The car's handling did not look great trying to get down past those KSX pit barrels. But boy, he got on the pit road and then just hammered the pit lane wall. Huge contact for the 12. We'll take one more look here to see what happened. It looks like he was just coming down pit road, unless he was maybe having a mechanical issue with his wheel. Couldn't tell you. And while we're taking a look here as well with Al Likens. Let's see if there's anything here. Looks like he gets a beat. Kyle Stewart. Oh, and Stewart going around might have been what caused it. The 10 of Kyle Stewart got sideways there through the triangle. Let's take a look here one more time. Watching the 10 there, that green number 10 of Kyle Stewart. He's running side by side with Likens. Comes down across the nose of the 13. And you see the 13 there through the grass. And then this is, I think, what officially throws the yellow, is the 10 of Kyle Stewart sideways right in front of Tyler Harrison. What a move from the 45 to avoid, although he does get Grant Thorpe and Brandon Richardson into the wall. They all soldier on. But that is what brings out your second of caution, or I guess third caution, and then a second naturally occurring. And it will set us up for a bit of a sprint to the end of stage number 2. If there is a caution that comes out any time from lap 95 through lap 100, that will be scored as the stage 2 break. And when they get going again, it's going to be close to lap 90, I believe. So it's only going to be a couple of laps they have to get to make its way to stage number 2. "27 cars still scored on the lead lap here through 88 laps. From leader Jeremy Burns all the way down to Caleb Gilbert, currently scored in the 27th position. 5 cars scored multiple laps down or more: Justice Murphy, John Fike, Michael Reed, Michael Call, and Jacob Sirkovich. All 3+ laps down. For most of them, it's 9+. Everyone else, though, with that caution on the lead lap and in contention here for one of the biggest races of the year on the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series schedule. So as the lights have gone off on the pace car, we'll give you a quick rundown on the top 10 as they run. Jeremy Burns in the number 9 machine, your points leader, has inherited the race lead with Justin Ritchie alongside him on the front row. Dakota Floyd, Travis Gilbert will be row 2. Trevor Erhardt and I'll say Alex Forget will make up row 3. Nick Alves, Kyle Diaz, row 4. Parker Johnston and Daniel Holloway make up row 5 for this restart. Everyone trying to get this thing sorted in position. That's actually also, now that I think about it, we didn't mention it during the replay, but it's a massive break for the 53 of Rob Rader who had gone spinning through the grass but did not get a caution. We'll get him regrouped back with the field here. He'll be restarting in the first position. So the pace car, once again, going to peel off. He was mighty bored in that opening stage, had nothing to do. Stage 2, he's been called upon quite a few more times. And Burns and Ritchie, with their combined 4 wins this season, going to lead them to the restart zone. Green flags back in the air. And a great launch from Burns. The 55 had a little bit of trouble getting going. As Dakota Floyd going to slide right in here in that battle for second. Floyd about 2/3 of the way ahead, just did not have enough to clear Ritchie off of turn 2. Instead, it'll be the 55 rounding the outside. Now he's going to be on the attack in 3 and 4, trying to take that spot back from Dakota Floyd. Travis Gilbert laying in wait as Forget and Erhardt run side by side behind him. Gilbert thought about getting in the middle of that, backed out, nearly backed all the way up to Trevor Erhardt. And they'll settle in single file. Floyd, Ritchie, Gilbert, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And now, just as I say it, Travis Gilbert, a big dive to the inside. Got a great run in the 3. If he did not have to contend with Dakota Floyd, he could have easily slid up there in front of Ritchie, but had nowhere to go with the 57 right there as well, so he'll have to settle back into P4. Erhardt taking a peek to the inside here for the 4th position. He might be get it as well. He got a good run coming off of turn 2. Nowhere to go, door to door. Alex Forget laying in the wings as well. This is really where the action's starting to pick up here. There's only a couple of laps till the stage break. Everyone trying to fight for those positions in the points here in the top 10. Forget going to round the outside of Erhardt. He'll take away P5. And here comes Nick Alves, Parker Johnston, Kyle Diaz, a whole host of new contenders at the tail end of the top 10 trying to work their way in. That 24 car has done a good job tonight just working at it, chipping away. Him and the 48 of Parker Johnston. Those two are battling just behind this. You see Gilbert watching on. Ritchie right on the back bumper of Dakota Floyd. Oh, Ritchie got a huge piece of the ball there, the 5 did. A lot of action, a lot of battling throughout this top 10 right now. You see 4th and 5th of Gilbert and Forget starting to reel in Dakota Floyd and Justin Ritchie. Oh boy, Floyd and Forget heavy into the outside here. As we hit 6 laps to go here in stage number 2. Burns continues to lead. Floyd has fallen back to the clutches of Justin Ritchie. You can see the field roaring off the corner here. Nick Alves has gotten to the inside corner of Alex Forget. That 24 car continues to chip away at him. He's now battling for that 6th or 7th position. Nice little battle for second, Floyd and Ritchie. Floyd, he's a big mover tonight. He started 28th. He's up to 2nd. He's had to do a lot of work to get that track position, both with passing on track and with some crafty pit strategy. But has put himself in prime position here to get a host of stage points if he's able to hold on to that spot. Here we go off of 4. Now 4 laps to go in stage 2. Burns continues to open up that lead. It's about 6 car lengths in the 1. Floyd, meanwhile, has a mirror full of Justin Ritchie. Trevor Erhardt looks to the inside of Travis Gilbert. That's for the 4th position. Thinks better of it. They slide back in the line as they go into 3. Everyone just waiting to get that run they're looking for. Alves around the force, hit 3 wide there. The 24 poking his way in. Oh, and the caution's out. Yellow flag is out, and that is going to officially score the stage break. Jeremy Burns will be your stage 2 winner. We'll find the caution in just a second, but since that was within 5 laps of the scheduled stage distance, that will count as the stage caution. Jeremy Burns, your stage 2 winner here at Charlotte. And now it'll be 102 laps or so to the end without any more scheduled stages. Your top 10, Burns, Floyd, Ritchie, Gilbert, and Erhardt. Your top 5, Alves, Forget, Diaz, Johnston, and Rob Rader round out your top 10. We'll have to see if that was what caused that caution. It was something deeper in the field. Taking a look here, that is the 66 of Carter Linz on screen. Oh boy, Tyler Harrison got a piece of the wall. That's a bit of a jump scare. Let's see what happened to the 45. Well, Harrison was already in the wall at that point. See, he's battling with Kyle Diaz. This is for about the 8th position on track or so. Big block. So gets a big block there on Rader. Rader looks to the inside. I believe it's going through 3 and 4 coming up that we see the 45 into the fence. It's battling here with Rader, just about clear. Oh, and yeah, late move from both of them. 45 went down the block to 53, gets him in that most vulnerable part of the car. That left rear corner panel. Just moves him up the track into the fence. 66 gets a piece of it as well. Tyler Harrison, heavy damage on that recharge rally machine. On board here with Carter Linz. Yeah, you see him go up the track. Linz tries to work his way down and just too little too late. Gets a piece of Harrison. And Matt Robinson. Oh, does Matt Robinson get that in the... I think he does. Wow. What a lucky break there for Robinson in that Allo Barbershop number 11. He just barely slid on through there. That is going to take us to the stage 2 caution. We are going to take a brief commercial break. When we come back, continued coverage at the ChapmanES.com 300 here from Charlotte. You won't want to miss it. We'll be right back.
So Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. You know, it's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today.
All right, folks, we are back, about to take the green flag for lap 101. We are officially halfway to the ChapmanES.com 300. Alex Forget won stage 1. Jeremy Burns has won stage 2. Oh, Floyd's around. Fun the tires on the restart, and we are right back under yellow as the 57 loses it from the front of the outside row. Miracle for the rest of the field that didn't collect more cars, though. 57 spun up and out of the way. A huge, fortunate break for the rest of the field in the outside lane. Devastating, though, for Dakota Floyd, who had done so much work to get himself into prime track position and just spun the tires. Field stacked up. I'm sure there's a few cars probably with a little bit of damage. Man. Did not see that coming. Taking a look at the replay here. Yeah, we're just going to take a look. 57, just, yeah, out of sorts. Gets turned off the nose of the 41 when he couldn't get going. And everyone able to get down and away. Tyler Harrison almost got a piece of that. Taking one more look here, and you can see when the 9, Jeremy Burns, punches that throttle, 457 tries to do the same. And just, yeah, out of sorts, probably either too low or missed a shift. Potentially started them first and just didn't get it going. Good news is, though, for Dakota Floyd, we are only about 150 miles into this race, so if they can get that thing repaired and back in racing condition, he's got a lot of time to try to get himself into position, as we actually have quite a few takers for pit road here. A lot of cars going to try to get themselves even more off cycle from the leaders. For the folks watching at home, hope y'all are having a good time tonight. If there's a certain driver you'd love to see some more of, feel free to drop it in the chat. We'll try to make sure we get to see a bit more of them here in stage number 3. We'll have a lot of laps to cover, and if they are on track, we will certainly be able to see what they're up to a little bit. If you haven't already, feel free to throw a like on this video. If you haven't subscribed to the V-Speed already, be more than happy if you did. Of course, you don't have to, but it's a good way to support the league, support the channel, and helps us bring more racing content directly to your inbox, like tonight's event here in Charlotte. And this should be where they do the choose cone. Racing Rev, always very fun implementing the choose cone. As you see the field picking their lane here. Lights are off on the pace car, so we'll see the same front row that we saw on the last restart before the stage caution. And that'll be Burns and Ritchie on the front row. Trevor Erhardt will slide in here, along with Travis Gilbert in row 2. Nick Alves, Kyle Diaz in row 3. Kyle Diaz, talk about a guy who's been on the move tonight. Started 32nd. He's worked his way up now to the 3rd row on this restart. It's been a phenomenal job so far for the 26 to put himself in contention. Rob Rader, Kevin Orlando Jr. sit in the 4th row. Alex Forget, Grant Turner sitting there in that 5th row. 26 cars remain on the lead lap here. So we're just over the halfway mark of this race. And here we go once again. Pace car going to make his way down pit road. Burns once again the control car. Ritchie going to try to avoid the same fate that Dakota Floyd just experienced a moment ago. As they put that green flag back in the air here, and we are racing once again at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Lines look like they get away pretty clean on this restart. Burns jumps into first. You've got Erhardt and Ritchie. And just like that, the caution's out. Michael Bennett in the 14, hard into the outside wall in turn 2. Just like that, we are back under yellow. A string of cautions here from about the midway point of the 2nd stage, now lingering into the opening part of the final stages tonight's race. We'll take a look here to see what happened to Michael Bennett. So we see that number 14 with some heavy right front damage from where it made contact with the wall. Oh, Looks like he got a piece there with Parker Johnston, then came up, gets into it with Trevor Keith. GK, we haven't talked about a lot tonight, but that is certainly not going to help his odds of getting to the front. We take another look here. Yeah, it looks like the 14 got positioned under the 48. And I don't know if it was the 48 was following the 11 in front of him. Was trying to work his way down the racetrack, or if Bennett put it in there a little too late. Either way, 48 gets turned off the nose. Johnston, though, the lucky one, is it looks like, yeah, from that angle, it looks like the 13 just drove into the corner panel. But from the other view, it looked like the 48 may have dropped down a little bit. Truth's probably somewhere in between that. But heavy damage there for the 14. Right up into the fence. Trevor Keith gets caught up in it as well. A couple more takers now for pit road. A couple of cars just getting down here for fuel, maybe for tires. A couple of cars getting damage repaired. I think with that, we're going to take another quick commercial break. When we come back, continued coverage of the race here at Charlotte, coming just after this.
So Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
Welcome back, folks, once again here to Charlotte. We've had a string of cautions here. We'll see if they can get this one sorted out and put some green flag racing back on the board. As the pace car peels away for Jeremy Burns and Trevor Erhardt, the new contender here on the outside lane. Burns with a good launch. Ritchie going to slide into P2. Erhardt falls back to third as Alves puts on the pressure to Travis Gilbert for P4. And it looks like he's actually going to be able to take that spot away. He's up now into the fourth position. Gilbert falls back to fifth. Here we go. Coming through 3 and 4. Diaz taking a look to the outside of Gilbert here. Oh, big contact. Everyone run forward, but big shunt into the outside wall for the 26, Kyle Diaz. Now they're running 3 wide through the corner. Forget splits the difference between Diaz and Al Likens. The stage 1 winner back on the attack here. He's up to 10th and looking for more. Oh, he gets a piece of the wall. Alex Forget into the outside wall in the turn 3. And he must have, oh, he's still up into the wall, but somehow that did not bring out the yellow. He has the ability to bring it down pit road, which is critical. That is big right front damage to the 19 that I do not think he's going to be able to repair all that quickly. And with no caution, that could be a real ender to his chances of winning tonight. I think he just got a little low on the 13. Al Likens was running that middle lane. The 19 was trying to work his way down the track a bit. Just got himself off the nose of Al Likens. So we jump back to the front of the field here. Burns still out front, quarter second over Justin Ritchie. This field trying to get this thing strung out for some green flag laps. Michael Reed out of this race. I do believe now Burns has led the most laps amongst cars who are still actively in this race. He's up to 32. Although Rob Rader has led a good chunk as well. Taking a look here. There's the 39 of Grant Turner. Doing a nice job here right now in P7. So he's watching this battle between Travis Gilbert and Kevin Orlando Jr. unfold. There is the foot cam from Grant the Toes Turner. Not a ton to look at here in Charlotte versus some of the horses, but you do get a little bit of a sense. How you navigate, you see he is heavy off the throttle, just a little tap of the brake to get that thing to rotate. And then he's back on the throttle to get that car really moving again. Turn 2. Now I imagine you'll see a very similar line here. Turn 3 and 4. Same deal, off the throttle, tap of the brake. Really working those pedals now, trying to maintain that gap with Kevin Orlando Jr. Wouldn't want to try to tag him in the middle of the corner. That would be a really bad place to make contact. That would be very active there. But there is Grant Turner. So he's currently working in that 7th position. He's got Al Likens to his outside right now. Trying to take that spot away. And there's the 13 poking his nose in. Turn out. Gonna fall back to the 8th position. Little salute there from the 39. Thank you, Mr. Turner. He knows that he's on stream as well. So he makes this move back to the inside. Oh, he's gonna try to take that spot away. Diaz has recovered from getting put into the wall back up to the 10th position. And closing here on Matt Robinson. Robinson trying to force his way past Turner here by shoving Likens forward. Bit of a speed rush. It's like when you're trying to go through the turnstile of the subway and someone tries to follow you through without paying. Just like shoves you through. Come on, go, 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 go. You see now Diaz looks to the inside of Turner. Holloway closing in as well. A little action happening here in the back half of the top 10. Couple of faces that we have not gotten to talk about nearly enough. So Diaz down to the inside, looking to try to find his way past Turner. Ritchie, though, really going the wrong way. Got up to 2nd at the start of this restart about 7 laps ago, but has now fallen all the way back to the 9th position. And it could be 11th by the end of this lap, as Diaz and the Holloway are right there on the scene as well. So Justin Ritchie starting to go the wrong way. Grant Turner got a piece of the wall right off the 4. Lost him a good bit of speed on corner exit. Oh, and Ritchie slid up there big time. He almost had a piece of Holloway. That car did not want to stay anchored to the bottom. I can see why the 55 losing some positions here. That car does not seem to be handling as well as it did earlier in this race. Jeremy Burns has opened up about a 3/4 of a second advantage over Rob Rader. Back to Nick Alves, Kevin Orlando Jr., and Travis Gilbert, your top 5. This right here is the battle for 6th. Matt Robinson, Al Likens, door to door. Likens in the 13 up high, Robinson in the 11 down low. Both rocking some Memorial Day schemes here for the Chapman ES.com 300. Now Grant Turner going to drive it deep to the inside. Likens a big piece of the wall. Turner and Robinson almost get into it. And it is all happening right now inside of the top 10. Some fantastic action, some fantastic stuff happening in this group. Take a nice little look there at the 13. Tell you what, there's another battle that's unfolding right now just up ahead of him. Kevin Orlando Jr. is trying to hold off Travis Gilbert. Something fierce right now. That 27 has gotten his way up to 4th. It's the highest that he's been all night, starting in the 12th position. But that 22 of Gilbert has really turned up the heat a little bit, trying to find his way around. They're both also chasing Nick Alves. Alves up from 14th to 3rd. Really entire top 10. Outside of Burns and Rader are folks who started outside the top 10 tonight. They've done a good job putting themselves in position as some of those cars who qualified for the top 10 have had some issues tonight. Guys like Michael Reed, John White, Justice Murphy, Alex Fouchette, Tyler Harrison, you know, a lot of the folks who started have had a couple of issues here this evening. Starting to see this field string out into a couple of smaller groups. This is the first one of that bunch. Alves, Orlando, and Gilbert, 3rd, 4th, 5th. All trying to get this thing figured out. Right now, though, just trying to stay in line, make sure they're saving their stuff, and if the opportunity presents itself, I'm sure they'll jump out and try to make a move. But right now, I'm sure they're 10 to try to roll 3rd, 4th, 5th, trying to reel in Rob Rader. They close that gap down to about 0.4 of a second between Rader and Alves. And now Gilbert takes a peek to the inside of Orlando Jr. Trying to make that move stick, not going to be able to do it. He'll fall back in the 5th position as Holloway got hunted by Grant Turner. Good battle there just behind the 39 and the 21. Going the war for the 8th position. They ran out of room coming off of turn 2. They gave each other a much wider berth off of 4. Here they go, Holloway looking to the inside of Turner. 21. Down to the apron of 39, about a lane off the wall. Not going to work out that time, though, for Turner. Holloway takes that spot away. He's now up to 8th. Continues his slow but steady march to the front. Worked his way up, big block from the 21, just able to hold off the 39. Through the middle of the corner, here comes Parker Johnston, trying to make his way into the top 10. And it's unfolding behind them. Linz, Ritchie, Likens, and more. All stacked up here, 3 wide through turns 1 and 2. Dylan Picklesheimer down low, trying to make some moves happen. Oh, and it's all getting squeezed in. Linz just had enough room behind Likens as Picklesheimer worked his way up the hill. That could have been really bad. You see Grant Turner, huge bit of the wall there. Going to lose out a few more positions. Likens dives to the bottom. Ritchie holding on to that last spot in the top 10 just ahead of him. This is the battle from 11th through 15th. Back to Richardson as Turner in the wall a second time in this lap. 3rd time now. He is really having some trouble getting that car to settle down. Linz, though, up to 12th, trying to close off Picklesheimer. Unable to do it, though. The 35 got just enough of a run off of 4. He'll be to the outside of the 66. Down the front straightaway, Dylan Picklesheimer rolling that high side, trying to find his way into P12. Brandon Richardson just behind them. Next time by, it'll be lap 130 of this 200-lap race. Just over 70 laps to go in what is the longest race of the season here for the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series. At least as terms as miles are concerned, a 300-mile race here tonight at Charlotte. For context, that is long as the real took place here on Saturday. See Richardson slide in behind Linz in front of Picklesheimer. Nice pass there by the 8. He'll take away that spot. And don't look now, but I've been starting to keep an eye on the lap times over the past couple laps, folks. And as we are nearing a point where, you know, green flag pit stops for some maybe coming up in the next few laps, Travis Gilbert has slid past Kevin Orlando Jr., and Rob Rader is within 0.3 of Jeremy Burns for the lead. That gap was close to a second a number of laps ago. You see Orlando Jr. right now about 2 seconds adrift of race leader Jeremy Burns in a good battle with Travis Gilbert. These two have not been able to get separated really since about the end of the first stage streak. Roaring down the back straightaway into 3. Starting to, ooh, he really drove there. The 22 fell back a little bit. 3 wide. Holloway, Ritchie, and Robinson. Parker Johnston maybe gonna make it 4. Oh, it's getting squeezed. They find just enough room on the racetrack to make that work. Robinson gonna lose out to Ritchie and Holloway. And now it's gonna be 2 by 2 multi-rows deep. Ritchie gonna slide up to 7th. He had backdrifted about to 11th. Now he's worked his way back up to 7th. The ebbs and flows in a race this long, you can see no further than the 55. He is a big-time example of that. Holloway now in front of Robinson and Parker Johnson, and I'm hearing over the radio. Oh, big time. The 55 flipped the wall. He's gonna lose some speed here to Holloway. I was just hearing over the radio that the 13 of Al Likens, it sounds like, going to be peeling off down pit road this time by. So it looks like another round of green flag pit stops going to be in order here in just a moment. As you see, Likens trying to get down, trying to get off the throttle. And is going to be able to do so. He'll hit pit lane, no issues there for the 13, pitting from just outside the top 10. Sounds like Kevin Orlando Jr. going to be coming around this time by after he got past Travis Gilbert. Sounds like the 27 looking to pit. Brent Thorpe going to be a part of it as well. Travis Gilbert, Kyle Diaz, all takers for pit lane. Boy, they came down there with a nice bit of steam, didn't they? '22 into his box. 27 rolling a little bit further down. He'll drive into his. A lot of takers for pit road as the pit cycles on. Jeremy Burns, your race leader, has hit pit road as well. Rob Rader will inherit the lead. Harrison will make his stop. We're watching Travis Gilbert get off a pit lane here just in front of Kyle Diaz. And now tentative leader Rob Rader gonna make his stop here from the provisional lead. Daniel Holloway going to inherit it temporarily. More and more takers coming down pit road. This is the battle on track right now for second. Matt Robinson, Parker Johnston. Well, for these cars, I think can go a couple more laps before they'll need to come down pit road as they pit on one of the last cautions that happened before this nice little bit of green flag racing. They currently run second and third. Actually, no, make it first and second now. The race leader, Daniel Holloway, just came down pit road. So these two cars fighting for the lead. Richardson and Picklesheimer behind them. They are now third and fourth. They were just at the tail end of the top 10 before this pit cycle began. And now Robinson going to peel off down pit road, which means Parker Johnson going to lead his first lap of the night. Richardson and Picklesheimer hot on his heels. Looks like only a couple of takers who have not come down pit road yet. Going all the way back to, I believe, now the 70. No, the 77, I think, actually pit pretty early on, I want to say. Although I don't think he'd be on the lead lap, so maybe not. May have misheard that, but I believe there's only now 5 or 6 cars who have not come down pit road yet. Everything's cycling back, I believe, to Jeremy Burns, the first car who has not, or who has pit. As you see more and more cars starting to peel off here, that leaderboard of cars still on the lead lap, shrinking dramatically. Johnson and Picklesheimer are in. Looks like Caleb Gilbert also going to be pitting here. And this puts you in a really good spot. If you're able to stretch it to lap 139, lap 40, you would only for sure need to hit one more time to make it on fuel if this goes green to the end. If you pit before lap 135, it gets a little dicier, and you might need to think about a second stop if you're not able to stretch that fuel tank to its full capacity. It's going to get a little more dicey for the folks who started this pit cycle, but for Picklesheimer and for Johnston, they're in good shape here. So Grant Thorpe scored as the race leader. I believe he is the only car yet to come down pit road. He has a 20-second advantage right now over Jeremy Lindsay. That gap is shrinking very, very quickly. So he actually may have just stopped. So when this battle is said and done, it looks to be that Jeremy Burns and Nick Alves, who are right on top of each other, are your battle for the race lead. The 9 of Burns, the 24 of Alves, all within 0.2 of each other through that pit cycle. It was a great job from Nick Alves to make up time on pit road. Kevin Orlando Jr. cycles out in front of Gilbert and Linz. Notably, the 53 missing from that lead group. I believe he got penalized for speeding on pit road. He is shuffled now out of the top 20. Devastating for the 53 as he had podium pace, potentially even race winning pace here tonight. There is Rob Rader, the 4-time champ. He has been so fast tonight, but just been on the wrong side, I believe, of everything that's unfolded here. Just missed out on the stage 1 and stage 2 wins. Now scored 2 laps down. I do believe it is a black flag for speeding on pit road. I have not heard that officially, but given that we're in the middle of the pit cycle and now he has scored a couple laps down, I do believe that is what happened. Was officially a black flag during the pit road stops. So Nick Alves, in the 24 machine, is your race leader right now here on lap 44, or 144. Jeremy Burns, Kevin Orlando Jr., Travis Gilbert, Carter Linz, your top 5 after the pit cycle. And there is second, third, and fourth. You can see just how close they're running, and they're not all that far behind Nick Alves. You can see him. He's a shot at. This is the top 4 on track. Even after the pit cycle, they are just stacked on top of each other right now. Sunday morning breakfast, a bunch of flapjacks, just one after the other. Oh, and Alves clipped the wall there a little bit. Burns going to take a peek to the inside, trying to capitalize. Now the 22 looking to the inside as well. He's going to take that spot away from Orlando. He's up the third. Burns takes the lead from Alves. He's up the first. Jeremy Burns retakes the lead here on lap 146. Alves shuffles the second. Gilbert, Orlando now all still within a half second of each other, but a completely different running order from just a moment ago. Inching closer to the 3/4 mark of this race. Only a couple laps to go until 50 to go. And for these drivers, potentially, if this stays green, only one more stop needed to make it to the end. This is that point where if you're not in this top 10, per se, you really got to think, what can I do strategy-wise that could potentially get me back in this race? Because as things are going, this field is really starting to spread out. And really anything from about 12th on back, when you're 10 seconds plus adrift, you're really going to need something big to get you back in contention here. This front pack roaring right now, though. Burns opening up about a half-second advantage over Alves. Gilbert sits third, just ahead of Orlando. I know, most notably, I think, for these leaders, a lot of clean racetrack in front of them. While this field is spread out a little bit, these guys have nothing but clean racetrack in front of them for a while here to really put down some fast times. You see there, that's 5th, 6th, and 7th, all stacked up just behind him. Carter Lindsay at 66 has company for the last spot of the top 5. There's Diaz, there's Ritchie. They're all fighting 5th, 6th, and 7th. Diaz running that inside lane, and that blue number 26 taking a peek to the inside right now of Richie, and that'll own number 55, the Cheetos machine. Gonna roll that high lane to great effect. He'll take away position number 6, and now is knocking on the door of Carter Linz for a top 5 running position. Trying to see, they've got a good bit of a gap actually now over Diaz. They really started to pull away in a hurry the moment they got clear. But Richie, right to the inside of Linz, really throttled down here for Justin Ritchie. We've seen him run as high as, first or second here tonight. Trying to get back to that spot, has some work to do. He's 2.5 seconds from the lead, but he just passed Carter Linz, and there is nothing but clean racetrack between him and those front 4. 50 laps to go here at Charlotte. Fatigue setting in surely for these drivers now. They've run already over 200 miles, which is longer than just about every other race we've already done this season. The longest we've done so far, really, I believe, is Daytona, 250 miles. We're just about at that point. These drivers, I'm sure, are feeling the effects of it. It's nearly 10:30 here on the East Coast. For those folks on the East Coast who might be running this one, had a long day, work, school, whatever it may be. Got to make sure you're keeping yourself mentally sharp as Nick Alves up at the front of the field has got a run on Jeremy Burns. He closed that gap down to less than 1/10 of a second a moment ago through 1 and 2. He was hounding the back bumper of Jeremy Burns. Burns right now, he was managing that lead for a second, opened it up to 1/2 a second. But boy, Travis Gilbert and Nick Alves reeled him in. Right now, procession 3 cars long at the front of the field, all within 0.3 of a second. Burns, Alves, Gilbert as they run. Orlando Jr. losing touch from the front 3 just a little bit. He's about a second off now as Justin Ritchie closes to within a second of him. Looks like the 9, though, whatever may have happened, to stabilize that lead, opened up about a 0.3 of a second advantage over Nick Alves. I wonder if something happened a couple laps ago to the 9 that allowed those front 3 to all kind of recondense. But then just as I say that, another run here for the 24. Good pace, gets him back a little bit closer. Just the ebbs and flows of a race this long. Consistency is key in oval racing, especially in a race this long. You got to make sure you hit your marks each and every time, and that just gets harder to do this deep into a race. So Gilbert now, take a peek to the outside a second. He's looking to take it away from Alves. Unable to do so going into 1, but just hanging around, filling up the right side of that mirror, letting him know, hey, the moment you make a misstep, I'm going to pounce on it, and I'm going to try to go around the long way. And Kevin Orlando Jr. now actually has continued to fall. He actually just got passed by Justin Ritchie. The 55 will slide up in the 4th. Orlando falls back to 5th. And Kyle Diaz is right there as well to try to capitalize. He's going to look to take that spot away. Looks like they might be coming up on a little bit of lap traffic here. And where they catch that car on track will be very critical to who is going to be able to sort out this top 3 as Gilbert continues to try to make something happen on that outside. Closing in once again to the back bumper of the 24. Has vet the track machine up to that middle high lane. Gets some fresh air on the nose of the race car. Just doesn't quite get the run he's looking for through the corner. He pulls right up to the back bumper down the straightaway. This time, though, going to surprise him with a look to the inside. Is that going to be the move that does it? Doesn't seem like it. Couldn't drive it in deep enough. But boy, he is poking around here. He's feeling out where the 24 is going to be able to make this thing work. Well, he's looking high, he's looking low. All while Nick Alves has been dialed in on the back bumper of Jeremy Burns, never letting him get more than 0.3 of a second ahead of him. Tyler Harrison in front of him, the lap car. They're going to try to work past. They're actually going to try to put him a lap down. He's currently running in the 20th position as the last car on the lead lap. Harrison qualified in the top 10. You see how lenient or unforgiving the 45 is here when it comes to holding on that lead lap running position. As you see, all three of them getting stacked up here. Gilbert finally got the run he was looking for. He carries it to the outside. He'll clear Nick Alves for second. And just as they're catching the lapped car of Tyler Harrison, all three of these cars are going to be battling for the lead. Burns and then Gilbert and Alves. 40 laps to go here at Charlotte. And it is all on the line right now. Top three, you can cover them in a blanket. Burns all the way up to the high side. Alves looks low. Rolling up to the corner there, side by side for second. They're still in the tire tracks to the 9. Burns dives to the inside to try to clear Harrison. The 45 trying to figure out where to go. Who's going to be able to use him as a pit? He gets down to the bottom of the racetrack. Looks like the 22 and the 24 going to try to go high around him. Right in the tire tracks of the 9 goes the 22. Alves in the 24 laps the apron, trying to find his way back into second. Nothing going though for that green and black number 24 that time around. And as they clear this lap car, Jeremy Burns able to put just a little bit of a gap between him and Travis Gilbert. These two drivers have had very different days. Jeremy Burns qualified on the front row. He's more or less been there ever since. Travis Gilbert started tonight 23rd. Had to work his way into position. And now in the closing laps of this race, has himself right in the position he wants to be to try to battle for the lead. And Nick Alves, to his credit, started 14th. He's like the third. He's having a phenomenal run tonight in that 24 machine. Oh, a little bit of lap traffic there from Trevor Keith. Here comes Travis Gilbert to the inside, following 15 down to the apron. Side by side for the lead here. 37 laps to go. Looks like Burns is going to be able to hold it on the outside for now. Gilbert nearly pries it away from him. Burns back to the bottom of the racetrack. Gilbert back up high, where both of them have felt rather comfortable so far tonight. The lightest touch of the wall there from the 22 as he gets right to the back bumper of Jeremy Burns. We've seen so many great battles over the past couple seasons between these two drivers. This one is shaping up to be a classic. Nick Alves falls now to about 7/10 behind the leaders. They're starting to lose a little bit of distance. Here is Daniel Holloway, Kyle Diaz, and Justin Ritchie. Nice little battle developing with a fourth position now. They continue to tick their way forward. They've gotten past Orlando. Diaz started 32nd tonight. He's all the way up the 4th. He's tonight's big mover at the moment, up 28 spots. And remember, folks, everyone is going to have to come down pit road at least one more time to make this thing if it stays green. Holloway up on the high side, roars past Kyle Diaz as Diaz is coming down pit road. Final stop of the night for Travis Gilbert, as well as Kyle Diaz. The cars from 2nd and 4th pitting now. 22 into his box cleanly. This decision to pit at the exact edge of the fuel window could be the winning move for the 22, or it could cost him if he's not able to stretch it that full 35 laps. I need it to go about 34. See him coming off of pit road here. Burns continues to tick away laps at the front of the field. Has not come down pit road just yet. Differing fuel strategies between the cars who were just running 1st and 2nd, and only one of them are going to prevail. Looks like Jeremy Burns now coming down pit road. The 9 is going to make his stop about 2 laps after the 35, or after the 22, apologies. Burns just will be in a fuel window where there would be no concerns about being able to make that stop. Into his box. Careful not to overshoot it. He's led 77 laps here tonight. There's still quite a few more to go if he's going to find himself in victory lane for the 4th time this season. He'll peel off, so does Tyler Harrison, who just recently went 1 lap down. The pit cycle is on. Holloway is in the lead. There's Travis Gilbert. There's the car that Burns was just ahead of a moment ago. You can see that the 22 is putting some significant distance in front of him in the 9. And Burns will have slightly fresher tires for the duration of this run. Will that be enough for him to reel in Travis Gilbert with the pace that they were running in that previous stint? About 6 cars yet to pit from George all the way down to Parker Johnston. And Holloway just hit a pit road. Travis Gilbert got about a 2.5 second edge by pitting 2 laps early. However, Burns on the fresher tires will be able to chip into that lap after lap for the duration of this stint if it goes green. The 98 of Jackson McGeorge has the lead temporarily. Sounds like he's going to be coming down pit road the next time by. Caleb Gilbert, Grant Thorpe both down pit road now. Richardson, the only driver I believe who haven't. '54 on pit road, one of the last cars to pit on this cycle. No doubt he'd be able to make it on fuel. Richardson going to be putting on some laps here up at the front. GC Carter Lynn's Matt Robinson battling here. Looks like some connection issues actually for the 66 Lynn's. That's something that they're going to have to keep an eye on here. A little bit of net code into the wall. Not an ideal situation for the 66 this deep into a race, especially with how well he's been running tonight. Hopefully that connection stabilizes. Richardson going to peel down pit road, which means everyone now has made their stops on what will likely be the final stop of the night here at Charlotte. Travis Gilbert going to inherit the lead over Kyle Diaz, Jeremy Burns, Nick Alves, and Kevin Orlando. Gilbert's advantage over Diaz will be just over a second. His advantage over Jeremy Burns, about 1.5 seconds. Burns notably really eating into that gap. It was a little over 2 seconds when that pit cycle started for the two of them, or when they had just come off of pit road. So the 9 clearly with a little bit more pace on those couple lap fresher tires. Kyle Diaz up to second, is up 30 positions from where he started tonight. An unbelievable drive from the Bet the Track number 26. He has just been slowly chipping at it lap after lap. He's been running an incredibly calculated race. He's going to be trying to hold off Jeremy Burns here. Not sure he's going to be able to do a whole lot against the 9. The 9, I think, on fresher tires. But still in prime position to potentially bring home a podium spot here is Kyle Diaz after starting dead last on the grid. You know, we saw Ross Chastain in the NASCAR Cup Series go last the first at Charlotte this weekend. Kyle Diaz very well might be able to do the same here. He's in position. You know, he's on slightly older tires, so it's going to be an uphill battle, but he's done a phenomenal job to get to the position he's in right now. We got 25 laps to go, though, from Charlotte. Travis Gilbert's lead has shrunk to less than a second over Jeremy Burns. This battle here, Holloway, Orlando, Ritchie, 5th, 6th, 7th. Unrelenting have these guys been battling inside the top 10 tonight. Orlando had the track position, but I believe the oldest tires of these three. Here comes Holloway trying to drive it in deep to the inside. Ritchie going to look up to the wall. And as they come off the corner, Orlando going to hold that spot for now in 5th, trying to do a little bit of an elevator move here, defending both lanes. It's the 21 and the 55 crowding that rear view mirror. Rob Rader, you see just behind him, that penalty as this thing has stayed green has been costly. He is trapped right now in the 21st position, 2 laps down on what is a bad fast number 53. Just nowhere to go with it right now. Would need a huge series of events to get himself back in contention in this one. Holloway did not get a good run through 1 and 2 there. Falls back Orlando and Richie gonna battle. Richie gonna take that spot. He's up to 5th. Orlando falls back to 6th. Holloway trying to hold off those cars behind him, and Picklesheimer and Robinson. Robinson the only one there for position, and then Johnston just behind them back in 9th. Next time by, it's going to be 20 laps to go, and Jeremy Burns has caught Travis Gilbert at the front of the field. The 9 car in within 0.3 of a second. Now a quarter second in closing. That number 9 machine looking for the race lead. Here it is, 20 laps to go. Burns taking a peek to the inside of Gilbert. He's going to slide on by on those fresher tires, and that could be the deciding move in this one. He's got clean air on the nose of this race car. He's got slightly fresher tires than the 22. And he's got about 19 laps to try to run like hell. Going down the back straightaway now, opening that gap up to about 0.3 of a second over Gilbert. Diaz sits about 1.7 back. He is a distant third that has a healthy advantage over Nick Alves in fourth. And right now, if you're Jeremy Burns, the only thing you can do is hit your marks and pray that the yellow doesn't fly, because you are in prime position to bring this one home and pick up win number 4 on the year. He's opened that lead up now to half a second. Taking a look at this battle for, look at this train for 6th on back. Parker Johnston is a host of cars behind him. The 48, though, has gotten around Orlando. He's gotten around Robinson. He's gotten around Richie. Parker Johnston in the 48 has gotten his way up to P6 after starting tonight's race in 21st. He's on a great run to the front here in this closing stint. Meanwhile, Orlando and Robinson doing battle for 7th. Rob Rader stuck 2 laps down, trapped right in the middle of all of it. Only 15 cars remain on the lead lap going back to Dakota Floyd at this point. It's been a war of attrition here in this second half after a couple of cautions in quick succession from the middle of stage 2 to the early part of the final stage. It has been a lengthy green flag run. You're seeing cars just trying to hold on to this thing and bring it home. Robinson runs 7 just ahead of Orlando. Things get really tight there. Oh, I think it was Johnston who may have got a piece of the wall there. Maybe it was Trevor Erhardt, actually. Yeah, I think it's the 41. You see he's up into the wall a little bit again. Holding up the 11 to 27, just able to squeeze on past. Nowhere to go if you were Matt Robinson there in the 11. Just trying to find his way through the lap traffic now of Erhardt and Rader. There's nowhere to go right now. It is a tough pass to try to get up there and get back to Orlando. Meanwhile, Johnston checking out here in P6. He's getting a little bit of help from Dylan Picklesheimer behind him. Oh, and Robinson gets a piece of the wall big time. He ends up down below the apron. Luckily for him, he's able to hold on to it. But boy, they are really feeling the effects of how long this race is now. They're just trying to hold on to this thing until the bitter end. Ritchie going to slide on past on the inside. Using Erhardt as a pick, he'll pick up that 8th position. Robinson back to 9th. He's got some distance. Back to Linz in 10th. As they run, Burns leads over Gilbert, Diaz, Alves, and Holloway. Holloway, though, has actually caught Nick Alves for 4th. The 21 car may be about to slide into P4 here. He's having a really good run in the back half of this race. And we'll see potentially that battle. We're going to see this battle for 9th here as Lynn's going to just storm past Matt Robinson. Just flies on past for 9th. Good move there. Here's that battle for 4th we were just talking about. Holloway, Alves, elbows out with 11 laps to go here from Charlotte. That's the battle for 4th. After 270 plus miles, they run in a dead heat for this 4th position. 21 trying to work it on the inside. Alves clinging. The right rear trying to hold on to it. A little bit of side drafting down the front straightaway. They'll be door to door with 10 laps to go. They're in the ChapmanES.com 300. Holloway again to the inside. Again tries to clear Alves. And again unable to do it. The 24 hanging tough on the outside. Just trying to will that car back into P4. Just cannot seem to get clear of Holloway. Holloway track a little bit. Oh, will give it to the 24, but then Alves hits the wall, and we are right back to where we started a couple laps ago. Dead heat into turn 1. And Holloway slides up. He'll take that spot away. He'll move back up into P4. He's having a great night tonight. Trying to close this thing out. He's only 1 spot away from ending up on the podium. He would have to make up a 2.5 seconds to Kyle Diaz. But he is rolling mighty fast right now, one of the faster cars on track. Burns his gap over Travis Gilbert, sorry, about 2 seconds. Diaz, though, is actually catching Travis Gilbert as well, the 26. Only about a 0.5 second off from Travis Gilbert. He was the better part of 2 seconds off about 20 laps ago. And at this point, everyone, I believe, in this top 10, more or less just holding their breath, trying to see if this thing can make its way to the end. As Parker Johnston is, he actually just lost out to Kevin Orlando Jr. The 27 just went on past the 48, so the 27 of Orlando back up to 6th. Johnston will fall back to 7th. Both of these guys up a good bit from where they started, though. I don't think they'll be too mad with where their finishing position is tonight. See the top 10 right now: Burge, Gilbert, Diaz, Holloway, and Alves. Orlando, Johnson, Ritchie, Linz, Grant Thorpe has put himself into the top 10 in the closing stages. Next time by, it'll be 5 laps to go for race leader Jeremy Burns. You see there, this is the battle for 2nd. Travis Gilbert got caught up in a bit of lap traffic, which has allowed Kyle Diaz to close that gap to P2. Diaz going to work his way up to the high side on the front straightaway, back down low. Only thing separating him from Travis Gilbert right now is the 15 of Trevor Keith. Keith's going to try to work his way around the 22, try to stay out of that battle a little bit. And now, gloves are off here between Gilbert and Diaz. Car length difference between the 22 and the 26. As they make their way down the front straightaway, they're both about 2 seconds off of race leader Jeremy Burns right now. Diaz has had some really, really good long run speed tonight. And I think we're seeing it here as he inches his way to the inside of Gilbert. Trying to find some magic here in the last couple of laps to work his way from 32nd up to potentially 2nd before this one is done. Travis Gilbert, to his credit, though, he's also up 21 spots. Oh, and Diaz has to come down pit road. He did not have enough fuel in the tank to make it to the end. Heartbreak for the 26. Forgot he kicked off that pit cycle just a little bit earlier than the rest. And that means now Holloway slides into that final podium spot. This battle with Alves and Orlando now for the 4th position on track. Man, oh man, late drama here at Charlotte. Rolling around here, only a couple laps left in this one. You see Diaz merge back on track, but he will have fallen down to the, I believe, outside the top 15. As they round for the final time, you see Travis Gilbert in extreme fuel save mode now. Holloway and Orlando going to go on by. But that puts the white flag in the air. The white flag presented by Erhardt Homes. Love where you live. No one's loving this right now more than the driver of 9. Jeremy Burns qualified on the front row today. He's led over 100 laps in this 300-mile exhibition. And coming off of turn 4 for the final time, win number 4 on the season, Jeremy Burns is going to win the ChapmanES.com 300 at Charlotte. A phenomenal drive from the driver of the 9. And he'll pick up win number 4 on the year. I believe Daniel Holloway, Kevin Orlando going to round out your podium finishers here tonight. And I thought Burns, when it was all said and done, was going to be up over 100 laps led. Still did lead 97 to just under half of the laps here tonight. Fantastic drive from the Metroplex number 9. And they're going to bring this thing to the front straightaway for the podium picture. There's Holloway rolling on up, as with Kevin Orlando. Kevin Orlando Jr. just got over the radio and said that he ran out of fuel on the cool down lap. So when he got to park for the winner's photo, or the podium photo, he's not going to be able to move out of that spot. So Jeremy Burns going to burn it down on the front straightaway. And in just a moment here, we will pull him into the booth for our winner's interview. See if we can bring him in here. Hey there, Jeremy Burns. This is Alex up in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Tell you what, my man, that was quite the clinic you put on tonight. Led about half the laps in the longest race of the year and played the fuel strategy right in what was a lengthy green flag run to the end. Talk to us a little bit about your strategy tonight and what made you so fast.
Just overall, just making sure that early on in the run, I wasn't running too high there. One of the big things was the right front tire wear was awful tonight. Just grinded through the right front. So being able to kind of stick it on the bottom for the first few laps of the run seemed to really help it and the longevity of tire. And towards the end there, I noticed I was about a lap short on fuel. So not on the last run, but the second to last run. So I tucked in there behind Nick and was trying to get his draft and kind of pull me along. And once I was able to get back by him, I knew that I was good on fuel. And it looked like Travis and Kyle there were a little bit short, but overall it felt pretty all right to get after it. And it feels really good to be back in victory lane. It feels good to have a long race like that. Just shows off the long run speed and the ability to go green there. Just being able to execute all day. A lot of pit stops were in that race. So being able to sit there and make sure that I had no mistakes. Everything was lights out from the crew, the team, and everybody that was a part of it tonight. I know the team and the Alliance were there feeding information. So just love to see it for the guys. Love to see it for everybody over at Metroplex. And just love being in Victory Lane in Charlotte. It's one of the better tracks. And, especially on such a great occasion like Memorial Day weekend. So just love to be there.
I tell you what, Jeremy, they say a win's a win. This one, though, I've got to imagine you got to feel really, really good about when it's said and done. I mean, this is one of those ones where it's a real racer's race. You know, it's not some fluke green, white checkered at the end or like, you know, the leader's wrecking and someone comes across the last second. You went out there and just had to run laps for the last back half of this race. How did you feel like you got into a rhythm there in the back half of the race once that thing finally got green and stayed green?
Like I said, just kind of sticking on the bottom there, feeling out the bumps. There were bumps in each corner that I was looking to hit each lap. And as the run went on, just kind of migrating up top to generate more runs. Because once you save your tire and you know that you may be on a little bit better of a tire strategy, you can kind of drift up and start getting runs and trying to pull people out of the draft. That way you're not just tugging them along. But overall, the team was there tonight. They were active in the chat, so everybody was able to stay focused, and everybody kept making sure that everybody was minding their P's and Q's. Kept clear heads. Clear heads definitely prevailed tonight, but overall, just getting in a sort of a routine there, you know, because both turns are different. So 1 and 2s ran a lot different than 3 and 4. Just resetting, and there were even times tonight where the turns changed by lap. So one lap it would be this way, then the next it'd be a totally different way. So just relaying that information, staying on top of it, staying on top of the strategy. That was all kind of in the equation tonight to have the success and being able to get that win.
And get that win you did, Jeremy. We know it's a running gag in this in the broadcast booth here, but let it rip. You can let us know at this point anyone you'd like to thank or shout out.
Yeah, a huge shout out to Mom and Dad, Josie, Coach P, Sonny, my grandma, Miss Betsy, Julie, Derek. A huge shout out to Caroline, who is graduating here soon from high school. So huge shout out to her. Shannon, Belinda, Betty, Colleen, Tommy, Chrissy, Dana, and Dylan. Element X, everybody over at Metroplex. Huge shout out to them. Enginuity Power Systems, Chapman Environmental, Buttkicker, Coastal Financial, Ultimate Exterior Light, and Erhardt Homes, All About Bugs. You all here at V-Speed, the admins and the drivers, and everybody else who made this possible tonight. And a special shout out to all servicemen, whether retired or active duty, and the ones that may have lost their life along the way. Memorial Day weekend is definitely special. So I definitely cannot go on without shouting them out. And I'll also shout out first responders in there because a lot of personal connections there, but firefighters, police officers, all the first responders as well.
A very touching tribute and a very fitting end to what was a phenomenal race. Jeremy Burns, thank you so much for dropping by. Congrats on win number 4. And go celebrate this one. You went out there and did that.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, and that was race winner Jeremy Burns, the number 9 machine, leading 97 laps tonight. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, the full results from tonight's race here at Charlotte and interviews with our other podium finishers. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
So Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. You know, it's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All right, folks, we are back after a thrilling 200-lap, 300-mile race here at Charlotte. Final results going to be coming up on your screen in just a moment. Jeremy Burns, who we just talked to, your race winner here tonight, win number 4 on the season. Finishing just ahead of our other podium finishers here tonight, Daniel Holloway and Kevin Orlando be your top 3, and we're going to talk to them in just a moment. There we go. Results up on your screen. Holloway and Orlando, of course, your podium finishers behind Burns. Nick Alves, 4th place finish here tonight, just ahead of Justin Ritchie. Parker Johnston finishes 6th here tonight, just ahead of Carter Linz. Travis Gilbert had to really stretch that fuel as long as it could go. He'll finish 8th here tonight, ahead of Grant Thorpe and Brandon Richardson with a big day, finishing 10th. Back in 11th place tonight, it was driver number 10, Kyle Stewart, finishing exactly where he qualified. Matt Robinson, the last car on the lead lap here tonight, only 12 cars able to do so. He'll finish in 12th, just ahead of Dakota Floyd. Kyle Diaz, even though they both finished 1 lap down, huge improvements from where they qualified. Same for Dylan Picklesheimer at 15th. Trevor Erhardt finishes 16th tonight, just ahead of Tyler Harrison. Caleb Gilbert in 18th, Al Likens and Joe Joya rounding out the top 20. Rob Rader with that penalty will finish 21st. Grant Turner 22nd. Trevor Keith, Jackson McGeorge, and Chris Nail 23rd, 5th. And at this point, we're talking about cars who were well behind the run issues for a lot of these cars here tonight. Forget, Bennett, Murphy, Reed, and Fike all scored 70 plus down. With our last 2 cars, Michael Call and Jacob Sirkovich, both 140 plus laps down. But with that will take us to our 2nd place finisher here tonight, driver of the number 21 machine, Daniel Holloway. Bring him into the booth. Hey there, Daniel. This is Alex up in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Welcome. It's good to have you here. Tell you what, that was one of those drives, I feel like, at least from what we saw up here in the booth, where about the first half of the race, I feel like we didn't see a ton, but then once we got onto that nice long green flag extend at the end, you just kept chugging your way forward. And when it was all said and done, you made your way onto the 2nd step of the podium here. Talk to us a little bit about your race and the long run speed you had on that long.
Yeah, I mean, the first half, I kind of struggled, but I was like pushing it too hard, I guess, and then just fighting 2 and 3 wide. And then that first pit stall in the beginning, kind of looped it a little bit, saved it, but did a little bit of wheel damage, so fell back all the way to the back of the pack, got it fixed, and it's a long race, and I know there was another stage, and once we start going and stuff and getting the longer runs, that second half, it's like the car decided to say, okay, it's time to go. And felt good grip-wise and just saving fuel, but still gaining. So it was Hershey Kiss's car. She was flying tonight. Felt really good. Finally, podium.
Certainly a podium indeed. It was a great run for you. Maybe a bit of a delay a couple weeks ago, the restart violation that potentially killed a race win, but back on the podium in a big way here tonight. And a race where it was really who can drive this thing to the front. When you have a green flag run that's like 80, 90 laps, that really is just a testament to not only your consistency, but your execution. How are you feeling after a really strong run that you had? Do you feel like that this is a really cementing run on the pace that you can carry to races moving forward?
I do believe so. Yeah, that race that I won with the black flag, that's still haunting me right now. It's still back in my mind, but I do believe so. I feel like I got the speed and everything. It's just the luck and just bad spots at times. But I think the momentum, I need it. I need to get going here. I know points wise I'm struggling, just not my years so far of finishing wise. But I feel like I got strong cars, just need long runs, but just bad luck at certain tracks, and I think it's rolling now. Just being patient, and that was the key for tonight too.
Well, it certainly paid off for you in a big way. Worked your way up to second place here tonight from starting outside the top 10. Daniel, congrats on the big points night for you tonight. Anyone you'd like to thank or shout out this evening?
Yeah, shout out to you, V Speed, for broadcasting in this league. Our R&R and my teammates, just put the extra time practicing and always communicating who's doing what and stuff. Trevor, Matt, Parker, I know Justice, TK, and all them. We get together, but boy, that team kind of struggled tonight. And everybody who's all watching out there, friends and family, and let's do it again next week in Nashville.
Alrighty, looking forward to it, and hopefully if things fall the right way, we'll be talking to you again after that one as well.
Thanks, guys, and have a good night.
You as well. And that was second place finisher Daniel Holloway, bringing that number 21 machine up to a P2 finish here tonight. And now joining us for our final podium interview of the night, driver of the number 27, it's Kevin Orlando Jr. Hey there, Kevin. This is Alex up in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I do. How you doing tonight?
Doing all right. My voice is a little bit shot, but it was a fun race to watch from up here in the booth. Would love to get your take on it, though, because you really got into the thick of it in that top 5 battle and that entire, say, final 90-lap green flag run of the race. We had that string of cautions, but then once things got going, they really got going, and that was car shined. Talk to us a little bit, I guess, tonight about that long green flag run and what the strategy was to keep yourself in position tonight.
So with that long green flag run at the end, I mean, for me, it was really kind of hectic, not only just because the battle's on track, but we were dealing with being really tight on fuel. Barely made it to the checker flag there, and the whole time it was just trying to balance fuel saving and trying to keep the speed up. I know a couple of our competitors up front had some similar fuel issues and didn't quite make it to the end there. So just glad we were able to get the amount of fuel we needed on that last pit stop and get it done.
And get it done you did. You worked your way all the way up to P3. What was it like kind of doing some of those battles as that green flag run developed? I mean, because you were battling, had tire cars that had a tire advantage against you were trying to make the same move. It felt like, was there any way to keep track of who was on what strategy, or was it simply just go for it, and if they had better pace, they probably had fresher tires, and if they didn't, they were probably on older tires?
Yeah, I mean, if you've been watching the race in here, you know that I'm usually pretty good at shredding the tires off of this thing before a lot of other people. So whether I had 2 tires or 4 tires, I typically don't even pay mind to it because it usually doesn't matter for me. Just tonight, especially with the conditions on the track, really cold track temperatures getting colder, I knew we had to also balance that tire saving as much as we could. A lot of tips from the team, so thanks to them over at OMT Racing, Carter Lins, Joe Joya, Chris Nail. A lot of tips from them to help me get these tires to stay under the car. Was struggling with that in the beginning, the first 2 stages of the race, especially that second one. I really fell off late in the run, just couldn't keep the tires. But that second part of the run, it was just between the tire and fuel saving, was able to make it work. Need to work on that some more though coming into next week.
Yeah, well, speaking of next week, we're heading to Nashville, a track similar in size, a bit different than it would here at Charlotte. How do you feel about your odds next week?
I feel pretty good about it. That race is usually, a pretty competitive race, but a little bit more in my wheelhouse. Something about the way the cars drive there. They're a little bit more free. Just really, I enjoy that track quite a bit. So I'm hoping we can go out there and, get a similar finish tonight. If not, I would love to win it. We're still searching for that win, searching to try to get that lock into the playoffs. And, we've been close a couple times this season, but I haven't been able to get it done yet. So it could be next week. Hoping to keep up this pace.
Oh, well, hoping to continue to talk to you up here in the booth. It's been fun chatting with you, Kevin. Before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank or shout out here this evening?
I already got the shout out to the team. They've been fantastic. Got to give a shout out to you guys for the amazing broadcasts. And then, of course, our sponsors over at Chapman Environmental for helping us keep this going. Enginuity Power Systems, Erhardt Homes, and Buttkicker for making sure that we can keep doing this every week. It's great. It's a lot of fun, and I'm just so thankful for the opportunities.
Kevin, we appreciate you jumping up here in the booth with us for a moment. Congrats on the podium run here tonight. And hopefully we get to talk to you again next week at Nashville.
Hey, if not next week, at some point, I'm sure I'll be back here. I'm going to make
We're
it happen.
looking forward to it.
As long as I didn't just jinx myself saying that.
Well, we will see if time proves that to be right or wrong. Kevin, appreciate it, and have a good night.
All right, you too. Thank you very much.
That was third place finisher Kevin Orlando Jr. bringing it home in third after starting 12th here this evening. But that's just about going to do it from tonight's coverage here of the ChapmanES.com 300 from Charlotte. The endurance race of stock car racing in the books. Next week, we set our eyes on a new challenge. Nashville Super Speedway, coming to you live right here on Speed June 4th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Don't want to miss that one. This big concrete oval puts on a ton of fun racing. Had a ton of fun there last year, and I have no doubt we'll see more of the same here tonight. Well, next week. Had a lot of fun tonight. We'll have a lot of fun next week as well. If you can't tell, I'm a little tired. My voice is a little bit shot, so I think this is about the time where we're going to wrap it up here tonight on V-Speed. So for producer Christian Hill, for V-Speeds, Bradley Cooper and Adam Baker, and for everyone here at Racing Revolution Cup Series, I've been Alex Gagnon saying thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's broadcast. We appreciate you sticking with us, and we will see you next week for some racing at Nashville Super Speedway. But until then, stay fast.
It's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
Bryce Shoemaker is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win. Saturday Night Racing League and throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.